Great. Simon, do you have anybody else joining besides Julie?
Not at the moment. Angie had to pull out because she had a conflict, but we're going to show her the recording, and we're also going to show a couple of our other guys the recording.
All right, you got it. So we can get started?
Yep.
All right, so I'll get started. So we have a 45-minute session, and let's hope we can stay within the time limits. All right, so well, welcome to today's session on creating value with integrated solutions. We're going to walk through integrations with AX7, CRM Online. And Simon, I talked briefly about field services. I know you guys don't do a lot of field services yet, but it's a new acquisition from Microsoft that happened last year. Now we've done a couple of good projects on that. So I'm Anil Shah. I'm a Scribe MVP and the managing partner here at CloudFront. I also have here with me Sunil. He's our AX functional lead.
Hey, Simon. Hi.
Hi.
All right. So your name is Simon, not Simon. We also have here with us Kuldeep Gupta. He's a senior project manager who's been working closely on these efforts, and he's actually going to lead the demo aspect of today's session.
Hi, Simon. How are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good. All right. So let's go to the next slide. What's the agenda for today? The agenda for today is we'll talk a little bit about CloudFront, what we do. We'll talk about integrated solutions and the value in our changing ecosystem. You guys must be aware already that Microsoft is talking about the fact that Dynamics 365 is going to replace AX and CRM both as as sort of a single offering by the end of this year. So we all, as partners, all of us live in a sort of a changing landscape that continues to evolve. We're going to go through the AX7 CRM Online integration. I'm going to do a quick recap and then Q&A. All right, talk about CloudFront. Right. So we are a silver partner of CRM Analytics and Azure Cloud. We are also a Scribe Premier partner. I was voted the Scribe MVP of the Year for APAC and North America a couple of weeks back at the WPC at Toronto. We focus predominantly on CRM, AX, NAV, Power BI, and Azure. We have deep expertise on the Scribe integration platform, both inside and online, with certified experts. And these are some of the integrations we've done over the last few years as it relates to CRM and AX. So we started working on integrations with 2012, R2, R3, and now over the last 6-8 months since we've had access to the public preview release of AX7, we developed the connector with Scribe and then extended it for some of our use. But then we've also done NAV integrations, GP, a little bit of Salesforce as well with the AX2012 R2. All right, so with that, this is a list of some of our clients and partners that we work with. You'll see on the bottom right-hand corner, Oakton is on the list now. But this showcases really the breadth and depth of our industry expertise and client expertise. Like the very first one on the top left is Tinius Olson. It's a large manufacturing client based out of US with offices with manufacturing in US and UK, and with offices in US, UK, India, and China. We've done that AX, CRM, Power BI, and integrated all of that with Scribe. Blendtech is a large US customer as well. And then we have some financial services clients, some professional services clients, really around the globe, US, Europe, and a little bit in Australia. But mostly our focus has been US and Europe and a little Australia. And there is very, very, very little India on the charts because it's still an evolving market. All right, with that, we can go to the next slide. All right, so creating value. So we live in an integrated world. So we have access to everything we need, whether it's our Yammer postings from our team to our Facebook to our LinkedIn. Everything is on our mobile, so our solutions also need to be integrated, especially because I've spent most of my career in the Dynamics partner channel, and I've done a lot of CRM, and I've seen it evolve from a sales and marketing tool to really a line of business application. And now with this close association with ERP, AX evolving into the cloud, everybody's expecting their solutions just to be fully integrated and transparent. So sales guys need to see what's in, if an order is invoiced or if a client is on credit limit, or the AX guys need to get a new sales order directly into AX from CRM. Nobody wants to be in the business of data entry, and we need to be self-sufficient. It gives us deeper visibility, of course, allows for faster decision making. Eventually, all of this drives really solid BI as well. So from management to people who are on the floor doing the work, everybody benefits by integrated solutions. And then how partners like us, all of us, can benefit is it helps us differentiate ourselves, provide complete packages. Hey, we can do CRM, we can do your AX, we can do your entire integrated solution under one roof, and clients prefer that. Hopefully allows us to gain access to newer opportunities because we get into vertical markets with integrated solutions. All right, on to the next slide. So this today's demo, so we'll quickly start. So the integration platform we're using behind the scenes is Scribe Online. If you want to see a little bit of that, we'll show you, how some of the maps look behind the scenes. But during the whole session, we'll be talking about how the integrations work and how information is going back and forth. We've used the Scribe Online AX7 connector. We used the CRM connector. And the key integrations are, so these are the key integrations we're going to show today. We started with customers, addresses, products, sales orders, invoice, and then after the sales invoice part, which is a standard CRM to AX integration for how most companies use it, the projects and service orders and all the other good stuff is related to around field services. So we'll show both these aspects. So and with that, yeah, Simon.
Sorry to interrupt. Just to confirm that this integration will also work for on-premise deployments?
That is correct. It will work for on-premise deployments. Ideally, it should be on CRM 15 or 2016 update 1, which just came out a couple of months back, because that's what we test everything on. But if you have an older release, we can test it as well. I don't think there should be an issue because the connectors for CRM from Scribe are available, I think, all the way back to 2013 at least. So. Right.
Thanks.
Yep. All right. Great. So we start with the demo. Over to Kuldeep.
Hi Simon, and hi Julie. I would be your navigator for the demo head. So let's start with the demo. The first thing, as you saw in the agenda, was customers. So we'll first create the customers in CRM. So for that, I'm currently logged into my CRM Online 2016 Update 1 environment. And we'll navigate to sales, and then I'll click on accounts. Let's create a new account. So as you can see, we need to fill in some information over here. So I'll give an account name. Let's say Queensland Engineering Limited. The account number, if you see, is logged out. This means this is after the integration happens from CRM to AX. The account number will be generated in AX and will be populated back to CRM. So with the account name, let's move on to, as we have restricted time, so we'll fill on only a few fields. Let's see the address type. We'll select invoice. So we'll give it invoicing address. We'll select the street name. So let's select the default that is coming over here. Since AX understands USA, so we'll change the country region to USA. Okay. So once this is done, I'll save the account.
Right. So while Kuldeep is saving this, I'll mention a couple of things. So you can have two types of integration. You can either have a real-time integration or you can have a batch integration. Typically, integrations related to creation of accounts are real-time. I think right now we have it in a batch mode, but you could have it in real-time. What that does, it will actually call the Scribe Online API and then trigger the message to go into AX. And as part of that integration, it will bring back the account number into CRM. other transactional type of integrations like orders, invoice updates, whatnot, could be batch. The rule of thumb is that we use batch processes as much as possible and restrict the use of real-time processes because it causes load on our systems. So that's one part of this. And the second, of course, Kuldeep already showed that when this account goes through, it'll actually bring back the account number from AX. This is how the two systems will be connected together. So over to you, Kuldeep.
Thank you, Anil. So once the customer is created, saved, the map's triggered, and then we can go ahead in AX and check. So this is my AX environment. So here I can navigate to all customers, check Queensland, okay, by the name. So Queensland, okay, let me check whether, so you see the account is integrated over here and the account number is generated. So I want to go ahead and check in CRM whether the same account number is reflected back. So I'll refresh the page to check whether the account number is here. Until it refreshes, what we are going to do next is we are going to add more addresses and try to see if we can integrate that back again in CRM, AX. So
oh, so just a quick question. So I do at the moment, is that batch or is that real time?
So Julie, this is right now it is batch, but we have our Scribe expert who's actually triggering this on demand, so it went through quickly. But it could be set up for real time.
So if it was real time, if you're on the save execute, is that when you do it and then you refresh?
Correct. So it's real time. When we save it, we have an asynchronous workflow, a plugin that fires from CRM, calls the Scribe Online API, and that would actually trigger that to create it in AX, and then as part of the creation, it brings back the account number like it did right now, and it will also bring back, if there was a failure, it will actually bring it back in here. So Kuldeep, can you browse to the section where we are capturing that info? Okay. Sorry. Okay. So if this was an error, we are putting it in the description field, but you could as well have another box called error description. Idea being that your end users can be self-sufficient. If it comes back, if AX throws back an error through its API, then you bring it back here. You could potentially trigger a workflow in CRM to the end user that, hey, your account did not integrate. In a way, it reduces the burden on sort of the integration administrator having to look into every single error. And then secondly, while we sent over this particular customer into AX, by saving the form, like we talked about one of our customers, Tinius Olsen, what they have as a process is somebody from finance typically goes into CRM and has a button that says map to AX. So it's a custom button at the top of the form, and you click that button, and then clicking that actually sends it over. So you can have different processes here.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
thank you, Anil. So next what we're going to do is, according to agenda, we'll create more addresses, another address for the same Queensland engineering account. For that, we'll click here, create address, add a new address. So let's say the address name is going to be, let's say, shipping address. Shipping address is going to be, let's say, LM Road. And address type, or rather we can call it, okay, it's going to be a delivery type address. So let's select the delivery type over here. Let's save and close this.
You don't need to save anything.
No, if you want to put, you can put it. We put the most basic field so that we cover all the topics. We are short of time.
So maybe Kuldeep, for a quick second, you can actually jump into Scribe Online, and we can just look at one of the packages. Like we just integrated the customer, right? Can we go look at that?
This is prettier
So
than
yeah,
Scribe on-premise.
yes, and actually, Simon, this is right now in Silverlight. By the I think by October, it's all going to be HTML5. So we don't have to use Internet Explorer. We can use Chrome or anything else. Right now, we are still restricted. So here's sort of the map. You see the map, sort of the process on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, you see a connection. On the top, you see the connection to the CRM system in blue or purple, a little bit colorblind. And then on the bottom, you see the target, which is the AX7 OData connection. So on the left-hand side, it does the query on the account. And if you open that, let me go ahead and open that. So this, for example, is the query. And here we make sure that we don't keep processing the same records every time. So you have the option here on the bottom where you can say, hey, select records that were modified after I processed this current run. So this applies to batch processes, doesn't apply to real time. We have one real-time integration process we'll walk you through as part of this demo. So it has 4 tabs on the top. It has a general tab. Then it has a filter tab. Let's go look at the filter. I don't think there's any filter. The only filter we have is on the general tab, which says just pick up all accounts that were created/modified after I last ran the process. And then the preview actually allows us to see the data that is actually going to come through, right? So it's quite sophisticated in the manner that as a developer who's developing in this, you can see a lot of your processes or your data before you push it across to the target system. So we can cancel out of this quickly. That's fine. I want to show the map quickly. All right. So on the left-hand side, we have the map. So we query the account. We get a bunch of data, and then it's basically a loop, right? So it goes to the for each loop. The first part is it starts with the loop, and then it does an update or insert based on the account ID. And then if you scroll down further, it says if the creation is successful, update the account. That update of the account actually brings back the AX account ID back into CRM. And if not, it updates the account. And can you click on that update account, Kuldeep? Yeah. So this is where it will update the error code. If you look at the bottom of the screen, it brings back the error data back into AX. So let me go click on the fields, and I'll show you the what it does if it's a failure, because the account would not be integrated. So you could as well add like a radio button or a yes/no on the form that says account integrated yes or no. So if the end user knows it's still not gone, and maybe it's a small error, maybe a pick list is not mapped or something. But here, for example, if you see the first field on the right-hand side, it tells you that the error that AX gave you, you're going to put it back into CRM. So hopefully it's more self-sufficient for our end users. And this can be done vice versa. You could do the same in AX, you could do the same in CRM. So hopefully, not requiring somebody to be constantly monitoring error messages is not a fun task. All right. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Kuldeep again. You guys have any questions on this?
No, it looks good.
All right, Julie.
Okay, I'm back. Well, so you remember we created more address. So let's go ahead and see in AX whether the more address is created or not. So let's click on the customer record. And you see there are 2 addresses that we have created. The first one was with the account by default that came in, and the second one is the more account that we created. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is going to create a product in AX. For that, we'll move on to products, release products. Click on the product.
Well, Kuldeep is just going to go ahead and create a product quickly. So this part of the integration is to make sure that product, and then that product would go into CRM. We'll use that actually in a sales order that we create. Then we're going to push that sales order across to AX. So this is also batched. But let's go ahead and create a product here. So let's give it a good name. Okay. TV LCD fuses. You like that name? All right. So Kuldeep and I, of course, are not AX experts, but Sunil told us exactly what to set up in model group and groups and dimension groups and all the fun stuff that AX needs. So Julie, you are a principal? Are you on the AX side or CRM side or?
On the CRM side, I've used GP quite a bit, but not actually AX. But it's
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so you can understand, right? I've done CRM all my life, and the last couple of years, 2-3 years, we got into AX, and so we have AX experts, and I always found AX challenging to understand the process. But with AX7, I find myself being able to navigate it much better than 2012.
Yeah, I agree. I did an AX7 course earlier in the year, and it's so much nicer.
Yes, yes. My AX function lead is smiling at me. Because they think it is easy. We don't. So our AX function lead is Sunil is here. He's actually a certified accountant as well, so he's also a finance expert. So he leads our AX and NAV parts. All right. So Kuldeep has created a product. So we'll jump into the product is PR771. So we'll jump into CRM and create a sales order. Kuldeep, yeah, go ahead and do that. We're just going to go jump and create the product, create the sales order. So you know, the standard business process flow is usually the customers come out of CRM because that's our sales system. It goes into our ERP, which is AX or NAV or GP. And then after that, you know, the AX system becomes the master record system. So you actually lock out a few fields in CRM, and then you keep updating from AX. And then sales orders also typically, for many customers, they originate from CRM. If you're using out-of-the-box CRM features, or if you're using, you know, some CPQ engine like ExpertLogix or something, and then those and the invoicing and all the other good stuff happens in AX, and that updates back. I'm assuming you guys see the same process in your.
Yeah, we use purchase orders, and it's essentially creating purchase orders for projects with multiple lines.
Okay. Okay. Create and so the purchase orders are yeah.
Yeah, so each project has a purchase order. I didn't put that very well, sorry. Each project has a purchase order, and there are milestones for that project, which are individual lines on the purchase order.
Okay. So and the purchase order starts from CRM for you, right?
Yeah.
And what is that purchase order end up in AX? It's a PO in AX as well, or?
Well, it ends up, so it starts out in our GMS system as modeled as a contract, and then in AX it becomes a purchase order with lines.
Okay, got it. Okay, so here, for example, we have a sales order. We've added the PR771 product. We've added one quantity, and then when we save it, it goes across to AX. So let's go look at that.
Just a quick thing, when you're creating the product in CRM, is Scribe creating the relationship to the unit, the price lists and things like that, or are you using?
Yeah. So we are actually using, very good question, Julie, because right now we're just using a CRM plugin to populate the price list, but again, that's hard-coded to the US dollar price list that you see on this contract. But otherwise, you know, based on your business process, it could be designed on this side, because I guess AX does not have the concept of price list. So yeah, like, you know, otherwise we also integrate the unit of measure, the groups, the unit group, I guess, for that product, so it always comes up right. the price list setup is done through a CRM plugin.
Okay.
It could also be done through Scribe if you have the logic in there. You could have the logic in Scribe or in CRM.
Yeah. Okay.
All right?
Yeah, no, thank you for that.
Thanks.
So we created the sales contract here. So let's go and check in the AX whether it has been created or not. For that, we'll go to all sales order and search for ours. Okay, so we can write C here, Queensland sales contract. This is created over here. Let's click and see. So once the sales order is created, we are gonna.
So Kuldeep, in this particular scenario, we got our sales order from CRM into AX. I believe that for this, you actually brought over the CRM order ID into a reference field here, which you're going to use to send the information back. So can we see that? So Simon and Julie, if you look at the top, the customer reference, we're just using this ID. This is the CRM order ID. So in our integration, we're actually using that to ensure that when this sales order is, let's say, invoice, then you want to update CRM, it uses this reference ID. We could as well get the AX sales order ID back into CRM so that both the systems are in sync. And that's what we usually do, that for any entity we sync, we'll have the unique primary key for one system available in the other system.
So for this sales contract, what we're going to do next is post an invoice for the same as the sales contract is generated. So for generating the invoice, let's click on the invoice button over here. Click OK. Now the invoice is getting created for the sales order.
So one thing so this is all so far, okay. Once this goes in, the batch process runs. We are just running it on demand now. You can design your batch to run at regular intervals. If you go back into CRM, if you can refresh the screen in CRM, a couple of things I want to show you. I think it will take a few seconds for the update that the order is fulfilled to come back through. But let me refresh. I'll show you quickly. We have a field on the order form. Once it comes up, it's basically a field that confirms whether the order is integrated or not. So on the left-hand side, you can see that this is now created in AX. So when it first got created in AX, it actually brought back that information that it's there in AX. The current status on the top right-hand side shows as active. So this will refresh in a few seconds to fulfill. So let's see if it is refreshed now. Okay. All right. So this is the invoicing part, right? So your sales order started in CRM, it went across, or your contract started here, went across to AX, and then any updates came back from the AX system. Kuldeep, can you refresh the screen? So this is another example of how integration, if done well, sort of sends this information back and forth. It's reliable, and then our teams would benefit consistently with having information at their fingertips. So our sales guys knows that this is invoiced, so on and so forth. Let's close this. All right. So you see it's fulfilled now. Of course, it's a read-only form. You can no longer change it, which is great. So far, so good. Kuldeep, one thing we didn't see is update of the customer from AX to CRM. Can you quickly see that before we jump into the service orders?
Yeah, so sorry, I just skipped that, but let's do an update in for a customer and see. What we'll do an update is, okay, let me first search the customer. Okay. I'm going to update an address. Let me update the street name. with the room number 1024. Okay. And then let's move down, and I'm going to update the credit limit also. Where is the credit? Yeah, here it is. Before we update the credit limit, we'll click on the edit button. Yeah, here. So let's update the credit limit here to $20,000. Let's save it.
All right. So Kuldeep will wait for this to go back into AX. Into CRM. In the meanwhile, you want to go back to the sales invoice and go through the creation of a service order. So in our case, let's go to the sales invoice in AX and do the update, and then we'll go back into CRM and look at the address and the customer and all the good stuff. So let's go ahead and the scenario here is that Renaissance Services is the customer that is a manufacturing customer, so they go ahead and install equipment at client sites. So in this scenario, we made some customizations to AX. So we're going to now go ahead and first go ahead and create a project. So let's go to a project. So the project is required in AX to associate it to any service order. So just give us a second. Okay. Just create a project quickly. So Simon, Julie, do you guys use projects in AX or not much?
We don't. It's something that we are looking at, or we were looking at as part of potential future work, but at the moment we're just using purchase orders to manage project plans.
Okay. So AX is sensitive about this stuff, right? So if you want to create, any service orders, you want to create any, ongoing contracts, it does require to have project, and only then you can sort of proceed further. So this is the idea in this scenario. What we're doing is we're actually creating a project, sending it across to CRM, because you could be creating service orders in CRM as well. So in this case, the project will go across to CRM. So while we wait for the project to go across in CRM, we can look at if the customer and address updated.
So I'm at the accounts. Okay, let me search my account.
So Kuldeep, just a timer. We have about 10 more minutes. So not that you have to rush, but just,
If you can see, the address has been updated back with the room number 1024 that way, and the address name has also been updated over here. So that's what we updated in AX. Let's go down, and the credit limit that we had put down is also updated over here with $20,000. Right?
Our project might also have come through.
Yes. So let's go ahead and see if the projects have come. For that, we'll go to Settings, AX Projects, and search.
So this is a custom entity we created to bring the projects. This is a custom entity we created to bring the projects across from AX. Just getting the header information about the projects because we need them on the service orders. So this project is here. So let's come back into AX and create a service order. So this part that we're going to show you is a customization we've done at the sales order level. So what we do is, in order for us to create a service order in AX, this particular customer, Renaissance Services, in the business of installation of equipment. So we've made a customization on the line item where we're going to go ahead and now associate a location ID, or basically a service location. And they're going to go associate a project, the project that we just created. So let's go associate that. And now, on the right-hand side, you'll see a button that we've created to create a service order. There's a couple of things here. It'll create the service order in AX, and on top of that, it will, in real time, take across that service order into CRM. So, Julie, this is a real-time integration. This is customization in AX to send it across, by calling the Scribe Online API. So first, let's go look at the service order in AX. Let's go look at that. So for this particular project ID, 00007, let's go look at the service order. Okay. Let's go just search for the, I love this feature in AX now to easily search. This wasn't the case with 2012.
So good.
Yeah, so good. So good. Thank God. AX is coming into the modern ages. So we have the service order here. So it shows our project ID, it shows our service order, so on and so forth. This same would be created in the field service module in CRM. So we can jump back into CRM. So let's go into the field service module. So this is the new, Microsoft bought a company called Field One last year, which is to facilitate the creation and management of field service teams. So people who come to fix the ACs in the office, or people who come for regular maintenance of our devices, or anything that companies do to basically provide routine maintenance, is part of service, and it seems a huge high growth industry. So Microsoft went there and bought out this company, integrated the solution as part of CRM now, along with the new project service that also came out a couple of months back. So this work order came across from AX into CRM, and now what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and add a couple of services and a couple of spare parts. So assume that we have one guy who went to install the TV product, and then he needs a couple of spare parts that he's going to add, and then he's going to perform some services, and then somebody's going to go ahead and approve that and send those line items across over into AX. So I think we could end with this once this is gone through, unless you guys have any other questions. We're just going to quickly add one line item for a spare part, and then we're going to also add one more line item for a service. So we just implemented a couple of customers on this module in CRM, and we actually integrated that with AX 2012. Hopefully we do it, looking forward to do it soon with AX7. Sorry about that. All right. So let's go ahead and add another service as well. So we have our technician who's gone on the field. He needs to bill for his time, so he's going to put up some daily service charges, and he's going to go ahead and select that. Okay. And then let's scroll down, and let's say he was there for about an hour. So we'll select 1 hour. Yep. Let's go ahead and save it. Save and close it. Save and close it. All right, so this basically is something that happens through a mobile client. So our technicians will have, a mobile client where they go client side, they register that they are there, and they could request parts, or they could add these parts and service, and then a scheduler or somebody in CRM goes ahead and approves this. So let's say we are the scheduler, we are now in CRM. So our technicians actually never need to log into CRM. They would use the field service mobile client. It's actually very nifty and very nice. So let's say we approved it. And this again is a batch process, so we go ahead and save it. And it's saved rightfully, so it should go across to AX. let's go look into AX. Our line items should come in here into this particular. Kuldeep, can you scroll down on this order right now? Yeah, okay, so we don't see the line items just yet, right? So it should appear maybe in a minute or so. You guys have any questions so far about the technology, what's happening here?
Well, just wondering how long it'll take to implement, say, purchase order creation from CRM to AX, because that's something we know we struggled with because the previous version of AX didn't have that exposed in the integration framework.
Correct. So, you know, a lot of this that we've shown you today, for example, the service order, it is not exposed out of the box as an endpoint, but it is significantly it's significantly faster than doing it with AX 2012. But we've also done the same what you just mentioned with AX 2012, like with contracts and projects and a bunch of other stuff for some European clients. So this should be quick, Simon. If you tell me your requirements, hey, we want to do this, I can, we can turn around a quote in a day because we've done so much of this for all these different entities. I do not see any bottlenecks with completing a few things quickly, like through a POC. That, hey, can you show it? Can you do this and can you show it in your environment? And we could. So if you tell me your specific requirements, then I can come across with an estimate to you.
Sure. Well, certainly think about it. But yeah, that's good. It's definitely good to know that it's easier to do in AX7 because that's a blessing.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, so in this case, the service order is updated, and at this point, it's a demo. You can go back to the slide if you want. Simon, Julie, do you guys have any other questions?
I just have one quick question about that real time again, and it's only because I haven't used Scribe in a long time. But are you using the Scribe workbench to do that, or are you writing code to be able to call the APIs?
So we are doing two things. We are there is code in AX that calls the Scribe Online API, and then what that does is Scribe Online API is a REST API. So and it will call that map. So Kuldeep, can you go back into Scribe Online and open this service order map? Because that's the one that's real time from AX to CRM. So let's open that. So Julie, good idea. So let's go back to our solution and let's go. So just stay here for a second. Just I want to show you something on this one. Let me go back to the solutions. So if you see, Julie, on the status field, you'll see most of them are on demand. At the very bottom, the one that is real time is called the work order, which is from AX to CRM, and it says waiting for event, right? So all the other ones could be on demand or they could be scheduled, but anything that's real time will always say waiting for event, so it's waiting for a trigger. So let's go ahead and open that, and I'll show you how that map looks slightly different than the other batch process maps. So let's go ahead and open the one with work order. So it's called a request reply map. So you request something, you get something. So if you see, very first step on the left-hand side at the very top, it says waiting for request. Otherwise, it will say, query the system, right? So it's waiting for that API call, and that API call triggers this map to run. So that's how this is. So this is the part in the workbench, and there is definitely code on the other side with regards to it being able to call, like a CRM plugin, it being able to call this map. So, but it's all API. So we are moving away from this traditional, what we used to, do in Scribe Insight with source and targets and connectors in our workbench, to more and more talking about APIs. So.
Okay, great. No, thank you.
Got it. All right. So, all right. So with that, that's all we have. If you guys don't have any questions, we can wrap up. We'll send you online, Simon. So we'll send you the link to it before the end of the day today.
Sure, that'd be fantastic. Thank you very much.
And I'll also share this deck. Definitely. Thanks, guys. And I'll also share the PowerPoint deck with you guys.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you very much, Anil. And thank
All
you
right,
to the rest
Simon.
of the team.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Have a good one.
Good weekend.
Okay, weekend.